At the top of college football, we are seeing some of the most impressive quarterback play we've seen in probably a decade, with Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., and Jayden Daniels all having record-breaking seasons, which makes what I'm about to say super relevant. And that is, I think Jalen Milroe deserves to be a Heisman Finalist. Now, I've been to that ceremony before, had a guy win it, a couple other guys be up for it, and helped a few guys write speeches for it. But before we go down the Heisman path, if you are a young quarterback and want to work with me this offseason, check out the Summit Tour. I'm taking trips all around the country, multiple cities, for an opportunity to work with young quarterbacks. Now, let's get back to the argument I'm trying to make, which is Jalen Milroe of Alabama deserves to be a Heisman finalist. According to the Heisman Trust website, the Heisman Trophy is annually awarded to the outstanding college football player whose performance epitomizes great ability combined with diligence, perseverance, and hard work. So we know the great ability because we all watch highlights, but let's look at those other things. Perseverance, diligence, and hard work. Hard to summarize and hard to score and quantify those things, but I'm gonna go ahead and try and do that right here. Now, unless you're an Alabama fan, you probably didn't know a lot about Jalen Milroe heading into this season, but I bet you are familiar with the last four names of Alabama quarterbacks: Bryce Young, Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones, and Jalen Hurts. Four dudes playing at a high level, making lots of money, and having a lot of success. So with almost impossible expectations heading into this year and very little experience, what did Jalen do? He went to work and has developed some really clean mechanics and very consistent movement throughout the pocket, constantly getting back, no matter what happens around him, to a great spot. We'll check him out on tape here in a second. Now, you also may not have known a lot about it, but have heard a little about the drama that ensued in the quarterback room in Alabama this year. There was rumors that Nick Saban was going to go grab Tyler Van Dyke from Miami, ends up grabbing Tyler Buckner from Notre Dame in the transfer portal, coming out of spring ball, heading into the season. Who's the starter? Is he on the roster? That's a lot of elements that are up in the air for a program like Alabama, which usually has every single position dialed and the next man up ready to roll. So what did Jalen do? Kept getting better diligently. Then, the first 3 weeks of the season, Alabama, uncharacteristically, has some struggles. They lose at home to Texas, and in a week 3 game versus South Florida, Jalen Milroe's benched. And what does getting benched do for a quarterback? Creates an opportunity to show and demonstrate perseverance. Since that benching and getting named the starter again, he's ripped off 8 straight wins and leads all quarterbacks in college football in rushing touchdowns. So in a season where Alabama's had unrealistic expectations, drama, and adversity, Jalen Milroe has demonstrated all 3 of the key virtues the Heisman Trust is looking for. But what does his performance tell us? Because if it doesn't epitomize great ability, then the intangible stuff I just talked about is all for naught. So let's get into the tape. All right, first up, this is early in a 0-0 ball game at Kentucky. And really what's happening is this guy's supposed to play cover 2 on this side. You'll see here in a second, this safety right here kind of yelling at his corner to help him out. And then on the other side, it's just quarters. And so what you're going to get is you're going to get Alabama on an over route right here, trying to attack this area on the field. So Jalen does a great job getting his eyes left here. Again, just trying to move this safety, hold him here to allow for number 3 on the over route, but the ball's got to be ripped. And let's look at it from behind. This is a touchdown. Jalen, you can see the stripe of his helmet right here. He's holding that safety, trusting 84 to get behind. Got to get the ball over the Mike linebacker. Can't throw him into the safety. So yeah, he's wide open and all that, but yeah, the wrong trajectory, obviously the wrong accuracy, and it's not a touchdown. Jalen does a great job, and it's the threat of the run. So you go, well, he's got all day. Well, look what this guy's doing. That's called a green dog. So this guy's sitting here going, all right, I'll be in coverage, but once he gets back there, I'm going to come spy him. I can't let this guy's leading the all quarterbacks in college football in rushing touchdowns. I can't just let him sit there. So he gets back to the top of the drop, boom, right foot in the ground, drives this ball, pins that safety right there. And it's the same argument that we've always made when we evaluate guys from Alabama or some of these big-time schools. Well, the guy's wide open. Yeah, but where's he hitting them, right? I heard it with Mac Jones. I heard it with Joe Burrow coming out of LSU. Well, he's throwing to guys that are wide open every now and then. Yeah, but he's hitting them in the throat. So I don't care how open somebody is when you have fantastic ball placement, and we'll get into a couple more examples of it. All right, now let's look at what happens if you don't spy Jalen Milroe with a defender whose sole responsibility is to contain the quarterback run. This is a tied 14-14 ball game with LSU. And this is, if you watch this on Instagram or something like that and you just see this clip, it's like, oh, this is a sick run, right? So he runs out here and he looks to his left, then he cuts up the field and he's super fast, and then here he goes for the touchdown. But let's look at the decision making and just the reacting in real time as he drops back. His eyes are right? He's got a flood concept. He's got, somebody coming in shallow over. I don't know where they all end up, but he's got concepts over there, and he's allocated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys on 3 over there. So he knows well enough that, hey, I'm going to take off here, and I know which way I'm going, and he's going to go left. But watch right here. Most quarterbacks, I know if this is me running my 4.98 40, like I'm going to get what I can get and get down. I'm not scoring on this one, but like I'm get what I can get and get down. And I think that's how most guys do it. But that's not what he does here. And by the way, this isn't like a play call. I doubt this is something that was talked about in a meeting. This is just straight instincts. This should not be a touchdown. I don't care how fast you are. They're on the 5, 10, 15, 20. He's 25 yards from the goal line right now. So what he does is he does not get upfield. If he does, he's coming. And maybe he scores because he's sick. Probably not. What he does, though, he heads towards the sideline. Keep an eye right here on this guy coming into the screen. Keep an eye on what it does to this corner out here. Because Jalen does not cross the line of scrimmage but remains a passer, even though he's tucked the ball, look at that corner out there. See how he sinks, and he can't let somebody stay wide open. Look at where his weight is. He's playing the width. He's not going to let Jalen kick it out to the flat like a late RPO and let that guy score down the sideline. So he stays in his area. And as soon as Jalen realizes that, boom, left foot's in the ground, vertical. Now he's out of it, and now I'm just winning with speed. I'm going to outrun 30, who's probably super fast. And these guys aren't diving. They're not even hitting him. So he's not scoring by like diving over 3 dudes and getting there. You talk about moving to the sideline, putting your left foot in the ground, getting vertical north-south right now, and then in 20 yards, everyone else is 15 yards away from you. They're actually not even getting a hit on you. You start talking about NFL and stuff, I go, well, that translates. So leading all quarterbacks in college football in rushing touchdowns, these aren't like tush pushes and like brotherly shoves and like we see a lot of quarterbacks getting stats on. This is him turning something that should be an 8 to 12-yard gain into a 25-yard touchdown. All right, now aside from just rolling over other opponents, they're down 13-0 in the second quarter, and this is 3rd and 7 versus Tennessee, a team that can play some defense and score at any time. And so this has got to have it. And this is a heavy play action, and we're going to see a great switch release right here. Right, we've got an over out to Dino combination or an 88 combination where they're both end up basically running post. So he's going to get him here on the vertical. He's going to get width. He's going to kill him at the top of that. Just flipping the corner's hips, and he's going to end up wide open, and I get it. But let's look at what Jalen's job is. It's not his fault somebody's wide open. Eyes go left. Great. Hold this safety over here. Allow space to be able to isolate this corner. He's going to bring his eyes back, realize it's man-to-man coverage right here. He's chasing across the field, which means it's man-to-man. Give your one-on-one an opportunity. And this dude, Bono, just with a little like head fake right here, makes this corner literally slip and fall. And now Jalen on time, accurate, pushes the ball down the field, perfectly hitting him in stride. When there's opportunities to make a play down the field, he's doing that as well. And this isn't a gotta-have-it situation, down 13 on 3rd and 7. All right, lastly, timing and accuracy. And that's what we're seeing out of Jalen right here. So this is a corner stop. I think it's Burnett. It's a dude who was at Georgia before. Drawing a blank on his name, but this is a corner stop, okay? So what he's going to do is, we can't really run a curl route from the 10-yard line because you're not, the corner doesn't feel like you're going to run a fade and run by him. And so you can't just like run a curl route and stop on the goal line in college football, at least. Maybe when you're a kid you can. So you got to sell something vertical. So tight split, selling that corner out, hitting that outside foot, stop, pop, ball's got to be placed right on his inside shoulder down here. And that's exactly what happened. So this is key timing. This guy, if our eyes aren't good, this guy can be in a position to move to the side and pick this off. Obviously, underneath coverage can get in the way of it. So we're isolating that outside leverage defender, selling that corner out. It's not even a great route by him. He hops into it, but he beats it with ball placement. Boom, up on his eyes so he can find it, catch, tuck, protect the ball. Touchdown. Great timing and accuracy out of Jalen Milroe, particularly where you got to have it, which is down in the red zone. So to summarize, he's got 12 touchdowns in his last 3 SEC games. against Tennessee, LSU, and Kentucky. Leads the FBS in rushing touchdowns for a quarterback with 12, and he's third in scramble yards for quarterbacks as well across the country. And his deep ball is deadly. Deep balls account for almost 25% of his attempts. It's 44.5% of his total yards, and he has a 12-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio in those types of throws. And I love quarterbacks who faced adversity because it's telling of how they're going to handle the adversity that is inevitably in front of them. And Jalen got a chance to experience some adversity early on, which is going to be telling of how he's going to handle adversity that's inevitably going to come down the road with a transfer coming in from Notre Dame, a week 2 loss, a week 3 benching, getting named the starter for SEC play in week 4, and the last 8 games, riddling off numbers that I believe make him worthy of heading to New York to be a finalist for the Heisman Trophy.